So I think we start again with our regular meditation. So it'll be about 12 minutes. So be comfortable and close your eyes and bring your attention inside to whatever is the strongest thing going on inside now. Can be some thoughts, can be some feelings, can be a body sensation. It may just be quiet. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back into the screen, and perhaps somebody would like to share what happened in the meditation. You can just wave your hand. Can I have, okay, Shankar. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I was very quiet, and I was thinking about what my mind was when I was at the Open Sky House.
Okay.
I was very good, thank you.
And where were you, where are you now?
I'm in London in my mum's house.
Okay. Right, right. Oh, that sounds good. Okay, well, come and see us again sometime. Yeah,
Sure.
okay. Okay, Christine.
Yes, now you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can see you
Yes.
and hear you.
Great. Ja, ich möchte in Deutsch sprechen.
Okay. You can just speak German and Indira will translate.
Okay. Ich bin total glücklich, sowas von glücklich, dich wieder zu sehen, die anderen zu sehen, in diesem Space zu sein.
So I'm very happy to see you again, to see the others again, to be again in this space.
Okay, good. Yeah, well, it's nice to see you too.
Ist auch schön, dich wiederzusehen.
Danke.
Shall I tell people what you've decided?
Soll ich den Leuten erzählen,
Yes.
was du entschieden hast?
Okay,
Because-
I'm still with it.
So recently, Christine, if some of you remember, spent a week with us in the Transformation Week. And then she stayed another week or week and a half, 2 weeks, I don't know exactly. And in this period, she decided she would like to shift and come and live in the community. So at the moment, she's planning to come on July the 1st.
Christina hat eine Woche war die bei uns hier im Open Sky House in der Transformationswoche und dann ist sie länger geblieben und hat entschlossen, dass sie einziehen will und sie kommt am 1. Juli zu uns.
Ja.
Very, very good.
Noch jetzt so einiges
Okay,
auf.
and you're doing all right with packing and
Und mit dem ganzen Packen geht das alles gut?
what did
Ja.
you say, Indira?
Geht alles gut und es ist aufregend, weil ich ganz schnell auch so diesen Kontakt immer wieder verliere. Aber die Gewissheit bleibt. Da ist etwas Frieden in mir und das ist eigentlich das Einzige, was ich habe, aber das ist genug.
So the packing is okay, but it also touches a lot of things inside of me, and I always lose a sort of the contact. But there's also a certainty in me, and this is the main thing. This is the most important.
Right, right.
That's the only thing I have, this deep
Right.
certainty.
So Christine, I could suggest that in this next period of making a big change, so, I don't get Christine now. Why is that? I only get, Indira. I don't want to see Indira. Oh, now I've got you. Okay. So Christine, what I'd like to say is that, probably in this next period, as you're making a big change in your life, many kind of doubts or issues or something will come up, and some of them may be not that you're particularly aware about them. They may be new things. So it's a very valuable time. And my suggestion is to get a notebook and simply write down these things that come up inside you. And then later when you're here, or I think Indira said you might even come to our retreat in Spain. So either there or when you come to Open Sky House, then there's lots of time to investigate these particular issues that got touched during what may be a bit of a busy kind of strong time for you, I think.
Also jetzt in der nächsten Zeit können ja viele Dinge angerührt werden und auch hochkommen und auch vielleicht neue Dinge, denen du dir noch nicht bewusst bist. Und was ich dir raten würde, ist, dass du ein Notizbuch dir besorgst und die Sachen da alle reinschreibst. Und dann, wenn du später hier bist oder die Indira hat gesagt, dass du vielleicht nach Spanien zum Retreat kommst, dann kannst du dir die genauer angucken, weil es ist eine sehr wertvolle Zeit jetzt für dich, dieser Umbruch.
And also I can tell you, Christine, that if you need some help to move yourself, we can come and pick you up. We try to give you support with those kind of practical things.
Und auch wenn du Unterstützung brauchst für den Umzug, also wir können kommen und können dich und deine Sachen holen. Wir versuchen dich mit diesen praktischen Dingen zu unterstützen.
Ja, das ist
Okay.
toll. Das ist great. Das ist wirklich gut. Und das Tagebuch, das werde ich schreiben. Ich habe die Idee auch schon. Ja, das fühlt sich hilfreich an. Und ich möchte sagen, die Meditation hat mich nochmal so richtig in den Frieden gebracht mit mir. Danke.
Yeah, that's great. And the idea with the diary is also great. And the meditation brought me deep in peace with myself.
Oh, very good. Very good.
Danke.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. It's a kind of exciting time, I mean,
Yes.
of course there's going to be, new issues to deal with, and maybe sometimes you have some fear or doubts or something, but it's all really a good moment to remember what came up. It's in your whole life, this is a very strong moment, and it's a big change for you. And yeah, I mean, later when there's more time, you can investigate some of the things that did happen.
Ja, das ist jetzt ein sehr bedeutender und aufregender Augenblick für dich. Es ist ein wichtiger Punkt in deinem Leben und es werden viele Dinge hochkommen und das ist ganz natürlich. Und du kannst die alle aufschreiben und dir später noch genauer anschauen.
Yeah.
Okay, so no drama.
Well, you'll probably have a few little dramas, most people have dramas. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Anybody else like to share about the meditation? Maybe Aditi? It's nice to see you again. We a bit missed you recently. I don't think you've been on the Zoom for some time.
Möchtest du vielleicht die Meditation teilen, wie das für dich war?
Ja, ich war vergangene Woche nicht dabei, habe es nicht geschafft. Es war sehr still in der Meditation. Während der Meditation.
Last week I wasn't there, I couldn't make it, but in the meditation it was now very quiet.
Right.
Kam dann ein Gedanke immer wieder, der kommt in der letzten Zeit immer wieder. Das ist wie, als wenn ich Babajis Stimme höre, sei still und du bist frei. Und am Ende der Meditation war so eine feine wie so eine subtile, feine, ruhige Freude in mir.
So there was a quietness, a deep stillness in myself, and I heard Papaji's sentence, "Be quiet and you are free," again and again. And at the end of the meditation, there was a really nice, subtle joy in myself.
Oh, very nice. That's very nice to hear, Aditi. Very good. Yeah.
Sehr schön, das zu hören, Aditi.
Okay, we're going to meet again soon, I think, at the next Sangha weekend. Okay, somebody else like to share the meditation? Ah, okay, Durga. You have to speak, Durga. Say something. Durga?
Yeah, here now I say something because first,
Yeah. Then you come on the screen, you see.
yeah.
We can all then enjoy your green t-shirt or dress maybe.
In the beginning there were some thoughts.
Durga, your microphone is off again. You need to keep it on.
Yeah, are you hear
Yeah.
me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the beginning there were thoughts, and then awareness changed to the birds in Hiedorf, because I hear the birds in your room,
All right, right.
and the wind here in Denia, and the dove start making kura here in on near my yurt.
Right, right.
And then there was a kind of expanding of awareness, and then there was the question, as if there is awareness is unendlich in hoe sagt men dat?
Endless?
Yeah,
Endless?
it's not endless. It's yeah, it has no end.
No end, yeah. Endless, yeah.
Awareness has no end, but
Right.
and then there was the question: is there a kind of personal awareness? What's stepping in the big awareness? How that it there is an awareness of an endlich of, and that it is in it has no end.
Right, right.
But
Okay. So Durga, the self-awareness that I often talk about, to be self-aware. So this is looking inside yourself at what is coming, what the mind is producing. You know. So this is a kind of personal self-awareness. And this personal self-awareness is a very important thing to develop, because once you have a good ability to be aware about what's going on inside you, then that can easily lead you not to pick up the thoughts, and therefore you gradually become free of the thoughts. Because thoughts that arise, like you could say clouds in the sky, and then the wind takes them past and away, they don't cause any problem, because there's no time for the rain to come out of the cloud, you could say. And similarly with our thoughts, if we don't take the thought, thoughts aren't really a problem. They arise and they depart. They change, if you like, by themselves. They also kind of delete themselves out of us. So this self-awareness is a very important property to develop out of the meditation, because every time we sit and meditate, like now, you can say your self-awareness, but hear the birds. And that immediately means to me that you were very quiet, you see. You weren't taking the thoughts because you heard the birds. So you might have heard traffic or a dog barking, you know, as well. So this is a wonderful sign that there is a deep peace inside you. And this is something I feel that you don't really accept about yourself, or you don't really, I don't know the right word, but you don't give yourself that. I mean, you're much more aware and much quieter than somehow you judge yourself to be. I think even today, or was it yesterday? I don't know. I got a message from you saying nothing really changes, blah, 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 you know. But it's not true, you see. I don't think it's true. And so maybe this is an old habit that you never gave yourself credit when you were younger. I don't know if you have something like that. But probably something happened in your life and you got some negative feedback and you accepted it and you took it and said, yeah, I'm like that, when in fact you're not like that. Is that possibly true?
I think so, because now I feel tears.
Ah, good, good, yeah. So what I've just said kind of touches you, so it means probably that there's some truth in what I'm saying to you. And probably it's time to see this clearly, because you don't need the old judgments anymore. And because you don't need them anymore, existence has built you a yurt, so now you have your own yurt. Not everybody knows, but this is now the manager's yurt down in Denya in the garden. We've put it up next to the bodywork yurt. So now we have 6 yurts in the garden.
With thanks to Kieran.
Yes. We're getting him busy now doing.
Existence sometimes has a name.
I just had the idea we should put a yurt up in the garden here in Hittor. Okay, maybe that's quite a nice idea, actually. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah. So John Lynch, I think you didn't come until after the meditation, but maybe we could have a few words together so I get to know you. I think we didn't meet before, did we?
Hi, John. Yeah. Hi, everybody. No, I came in late because the times were mixed up, and I lucky updated my Zoom, and I just an hour earlier. So then I saw the meeting on. So, yeah, I'm from Ireland. I haven't seen you before. I heard of you. I think Carl Renz mentioned you. I was in Vietnam with Carl.
In Vietnam?
Yeah.
What was Carl doing in Vietnam?
He was demolishing us all, actually. Yeah.
Oh, he organized a retreat in Vietnam?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Because he used to come to India, you know. I go every year in January to India, in the south of India, you know, at Arunachala, and he always used to come there to give retreats.
Yeah.
So
he's
I'm a
pulled
bit.
away from India, John, I think. Yeah.
What's that?
I think he's pulled away from India now.
Oh, has he? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he shifted now to do his retreat. Is he living in Vietnam?
No, it was just a once off. He relocated back to his hometown, Bad Pyrmont in Germany, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you never know what's going to happen, obviously, like, you know.
Right. Well, I haven't really met him for many years, but some years ago I interviewed him for my book, Blueprints for Awakening Western Masters or European Masters. I don't know if you've seen that book.
I saw the video, yeah.
Right.
So,
And
yeah.
I see behind you, you've got a book. I think it's a book, you've turned it around and it says, never give up.
I put that, people, I do a podcast, The Discarded Compass. It's an interview thing.
Okay.
People think I'm shilling them when I put that up there.
Right. Because that's actually one of the quotes you could have used from the Buddha. You know, the Buddha used to say that, you know, there are 2 mistakes. One is never to start, and the other one is to give up.
Well, I'm not the giving up type, so yeah. I wanted to basically, between seeing Carl, I just wanted to, as they say, be good company, you know. That's why I thought it'd be a good idea to come on.
Yeah.
During the meditation, when I was falling deeper, the mind was playing a few songs and stuff, as it does by itself.
You've just frozen. I'm not sure if it's our internet or your internet.
Hello?
Can you say that again? Because yeah, you got a bit stuck. Can you repeat what you just said?
I was. I hope this is.
Yeah, you've been frozen for a few minutes, but now I can hear you again.
Yeah, I suppose the meditation, John. I was just falling deeper, and the mind was playing songs in the background. It just plays songs by itself sometimes, you know.
Right, right.
When I was falling, the more I was falling, I got a really bad migraine, like splitting, like
Just now in the meditation,
during the
you got
meditation.
you
Yeah.
got this migraine.
Oh yeah, it was bad. Like
Ah,
I
right.
think it's a good thing, probably, you know.
Okay. I mean, you look very relaxed, actually. I haven't met you before, but you seem very relaxed. So it's a bit surprising you get a headache.
I was actually, thanks for saying that, because that's what needed to be said. Yeah, I am surprised. Normally, when I meditate, like, my my best moments are when between being asleep and being awake.
Uh-huh.
I try to catch myself there, which works
In the
kind
morning, is that when you wake up? You that
of at night.
before your mind gets really going, you have some time in the morning, maybe.
Well, I do it at night before I'm going to.
Ah,
I'd be kind
okay.
of really, really aware and totally relaxed. I'm able to do that
Right, right.
by the look of whatever. Um, and it's just something I learned myself. But I had all these things go off in my mind, explosions of light and bliss, and it goes.
Have you come across this book? We
What's that?
published it in January. It's Bichara, Self-Enquiry, Who Am I? And it's from direct teachings of Ramana Maharshi.
I have it.
You have this one.
Yeah.
Okay, and there was another one before this one, also from Ramana Maharshi, called Aham Sparana. Have you seen that one? Okay. I mean, if you would be interested, if you go to the website of openskypress.com, we have those two books, and we're going to bring out, probably next year, we're going to bring out a third book. And these books are taken from a manuscript that was written in 1936 by a young Indian man who visited the ashram and fell in love with Ramana and stayed for 6 months. And each night he would make a diary about what happened during the daytime. And this whole material has been published on Amazon. You can download it from Amazon, I think very cheaply. But unfortunately, that particular document is a bit difficult because there's no spaces. It's about 1,500 pages, and there's very little spaces, like one continuous text. So when I got this text about 4 years ago now, I was very touched, and so I started to edit it and so on. And we've made now two books. The one is Aham Sparana, and the other is Vishara. And we're planning another book which is about surrender. And this is all Ramana Maharshi's words. It's nothing to do with John David. I've only done an editing job to make it readable. And I guess you're a pretty experienced guy, so these two books might be very touching for you.
I'll have a look at them. I wouldn't say I'm experienced either. I
No?
wouldn't be knowledgeable of all these teachings. While the ins and outs of Hinduism and all that, I wouldn't know it all at all.
Right,
Sort of
right.
a bit of a maverick, you know.
You're a maverick.
Maverick, yeah.
What do you mean when you say you're a maverick?
I'm sort of I love my own solitude. I'm not very needy, you know. I'm sort of like, I'm not the usual guy.
Right, right. Well, I guess if you go off to a Carl Rent's retreat in Vietnam, you're definitely not a normal Irish bloke.
Thanks.
Okay, very nice to meet you. And we do this meeting every Tuesday if you'd like to come again sometime. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, good. Good. We have suddenly a new person. I don't. Jean Paul. Shall we have a little getting to know each other meeting, Jean?
Hi.
Hi, hi. Did we meet before?
No, we did it. It's Jean-Paul, by the way.
Jean Paul. Are you
Yeah.
French?
No, I'm from Holland.
Oh, from Holland. Okay.
Yes, but of
Okay.
course it's just a name. I'm just consciousness watching.
Okay. Where do you live in Holland?
Hengelo, near the border of Germany.
Oh, really? So you're
Yeah.
probably only about an hour and a half drive from where we're living. We live near to Cologne in Germany.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit further. I'm not really sure because I haven't been there for a long time. The last time I've been there was I think in 2019 when I had to do a show there as an
Ah,
artist.
okay.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 hours, I guess, maybe a little longer, 2.5. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. When you say it as an artist, are you a painter?
No, back then I was on stage giving shows.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was a band that had a few hits, and I was a band member for a couple of years, and then after that I quitted it. Yeah, so now I'm doing other things. Yeah, but I'm still artistic in a way. But of course, that's just a definition of who I am, I guess.
Right, right. Okay. Well, we have a community, I don't know if you know that, but we have a community called Open Sky House, where a group of people are living together. At the moment, we're about 15 people. We've been a bit more than that, but always less than 20. So it's a kind of intimate group. And we've been living together in this very beautiful 17th century house, or mansion, I could say, for the last 22 years. So if you ever feel to come and connect, you're very welcome.
I've just put on the volume. Yes, I heard what you said. Oh, that sounds really beautiful. I didn't know that because I just found out, I think like 1.5 week that you existed or that your community existed and these Zooms.
Right, right.
So I'm really grateful to be here. Yeah, that sounds like an idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you like, you're very welcome. And we also have a guest house in our community, so you can stay overnight if you want.
All right. Okay. Oh, can I get some information for that on the website or?
Yes, I mean, if you go to openskyhouse.org, O-R-G, I'm sure you can find information. And then you could call maybe to the office
Okay.
and say what you would be interested in. Maybe you'd like to come and entertain us sometime.
Oh, no problem. I mean, yeah, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm open for anything. So yeah.
Are you involved in, for example, mantra singing?
Sorry, mantra singing. No, I have done that in the past, but I definitely could give it. I mean, I also gave some meditations in the past, or
Right.
just think about creative games. I'm in the moment in developing games where people connect on a deeper level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm working on different projects, so that's kind of in process at the moment.
Right.
I'm making videos where I talk to people about spirituality with a smile and a laugh and just funny things. So yeah, I'm open for anything. Yeah, we could discuss that. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you'd always be welcome. You can, as I say, best would be to contact the office and then you know, they can tell you the possibilities. But we're very open to have guests, and you know, we offer weekends and you know whatever. But you can come anytime, basically. Yeah.
Okay, well, great. Thanks. Thanks for the invitation. Wow, nice. Well, I mean, that's an introduction. I didn't expect anything.
Okay. Well, how did you find us actually? How did you find this Zoom meeting?
Well, I've been on the spiritual path for a long time, and I in this phase, I think the last couple of months, I've been looking for that which would bring me the most relaxation, and in my heart, it always felt it's satsang. So I just found it on satsang point NL because I'm from Holland, and yeah, I saw your name and the Zoom meeting, so I thought, well, let's go for it. So
Okay. Very nice. Yeah. Well, I think we'd love to see if you want to come and visit us. I mean, because we're a whole group, there is a very strong energy in this house, which I think you would appreciate. And as you're an artist, we have an art gallery in this house, where we just opened a new exhibition. So if
okay.
you look at the two paintings behind me, these were made by somebody I've known many years, a very spiritual woman. And the paintings are very subtle, and from my point of view, they're very deep paintings. You might enjoy the exhibition. We have two artists and one sculptor is exhibiting in the gallery at the moment.
Okay.
The gallery is basically our living rooms, you know, where we normally, you know, would sit or eat. We make that into a gallery, so we're surrounded by art.
Okay, well, sounds nice. Yeah. And I mean, I can't see that much except a couple of colors on the art that's behind you, but yeah, for sure. I mean, it could be very opening seeing these things. I'm really curious about the art that you have. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, well, give a call. You can ask for Indira when you call, because she's the lady actually translating now. But if you ask when you call for Indira, she can give you different ideas of how you can come if you want to come.
Yeah. Okay, that's her name, Indira. Yeah. Okay, sure.
And if you want to know more about John David, on WhatsApp, we have a lot of material because years ago I traveled in India and interviewed Indian masters, and also in Europe and interviewed European masters. So all those interviews are up on YouTube. So you could, if you choose, you could look for those interviews.
Okay. I thought you said WhatsApp, but you meant YouTube.
Did I say WhatsApp? Yeah, I mean YouTube
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah. The second time you said YouTube, so yeah, okay, great. I'll check it out. Yeah, because your last name, I'll find that. David,
Well, John David.
John David. Okay, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
great. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, very nice to talk to you, and maybe we'll see you again. You know.
Who knows? Yeah. Thank you.
And maybe I shouldn't say this, but I find your face very humorous. So I could imagine you on the stage telling jokes, actually. Did you ever
Yeah,
do that
I
as
am.
well?
I just finished a couple of videos where I'm dressed in a lion suit called
Okay.
Lion GP and just running around like sort of a James Bond and trying to rescue the world. So yeah, my humor is definitely one of my characteristics. Yeah, sure.
Maybe you could send us that. I mean, that video, if it's a few minutes of video with you in a lion suit, maybe we can enjoy it. But
Sure. Yeah.
your face is naturally very funny. I don't mean you're a funny person, but there's something about the way your face is, which I immediately thought, wow, this guy could be a comedian or something.
Well, thank you very much for the compliment. Yeah, sure. I can send it to you whenever you want to. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, good, good.
yeah.
Anyway, very nice to meet you. Yeah.
Gracias. Yes.
Okay. Anybody else like to share the meditation? I guess we have time for one more person. I think it better be Arjuna because he's looking very happy. Maybe you can also tell us why you're looking so happy. Arjuna, can you say
Uh,
something?
Hi. I don't know. I just like the talk between you very much, and I also thought the same. That immediately when seeing him, it had some strange, arty, humorous energy. Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
So
right. Well, you got very
yeah.
touched, yeah. You look, I could almost say the same thing to you. Your face very sort of like you could be a comedian. Yeah,
Yeah, actually, okay, also can be pretty funny, I think.
yeah. If
Yeah.
you could find a lion costume, you could make you could get a whole series of lion videos. Anyway, would you like
Yeah,
to share the meditation?
um, yeah, it was pretty. There was a lot of thoughts actually, but it was very nice. So like the thoughts were just about the last minutes, what happened before, and they were pretty. I didn't really care, but there were many thoughts. But it was a very nice space. So and as usual, there was this just relaxed, falling, just nice sensation. Yeah.
Right.
So,
So although there were a lot of thoughts, you weren't pulling the thoughts, taking the thought. They were coming and going.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
It was very, very much thoughts, but it
Yeah. I mean, if you
was
don't
not
take
really.
them, then it's not such a big issue because they may be in the background of a sort of pretty silent space and the thoughts are coming and the thoughts are going. So they not really make any problems. It's when you take a thought, like, let's think, I'm hungry. And then you think, I'm hungry. So, okay. And then you go to the fridge and you find the fridge is empty. And then you think, okay, I go and buy some food or I go to a restaurant. And then, you pull out your bicycle from the shed and you find you've got a puncture. And then, and this sort of story is very common, of course, in our lives. Yeah. And that creates a situation where we're very much in a way blocking the possibility of just being from a deep place. And so I think right now you're probably doing quite well with that. Being, I mean.
Yeah, I think you can say that. Yeah, and it was nice to see that usually when there's many thought, it's more like it pulls me out because,
Right.
but this time was just there were many, but it was really, yeah,
Easy actually, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, very good. So I think I have to ask Kamala now because she's, where's Kamala? Are you there, Kamala? Should we have a talk about what Arjuna was just saying? Can you say a few words and then you come on the
Yeah.
screen?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. Very good, yeah. So we were just talking about the mind, yeah? We were talking about the thoughts and the mind. And I was making the point that, the reason why thoughts become difficult is that normally when thoughts start coming through us, we take them, we pick them up. But it's also possible to not take them up. But for that, you need to be a bit aware of the thoughts. But if you leave the thoughts, they will come in and and then they go out and then they disappear again. So these kind of thoughts are not really much of a problem in our lives. The thoughts which cause trouble are thoughts about something that's happened or somebody in the past. And, we can easily get very involved in thinking about some situation that happened or something how can I say, something has been reminded you of something from the past. And we were talking about this today a bit, yeah?
Yeah, right.
Right. So how was this meditation for you?
First, my headache was very present,
Okay.
and it was some kind of, I mean, in meditation, the thoughts are not in they are more in the background.
Yeah.
But at the moment, because, yeah, I'm a bit like there's a lot going on, so I think I couldn't grasp it really. It was some kind of a confusing state, but I don't know how to say, like under a blanket, nothing could really pop up
Right.
massively or something like that. But
It's funny you were saying you were under a blanket because it looks like you're behind a screen right now because you're not very clear, you know, it looks like there's a sort of opaque window in front of you or something. Even now that you moved, you're not really sharp, you know. I don't know why that is, but some technical reason, I guess.
now
But
I cleaned the camera, not better? No.
no, it's not about better or worse. You look quite nice when you're not so sharp, actually.
Okay.
You always seem to assume when somebody comments that they're criticizing you, but maybe they're not, you know. I'm just telling you, like with this man just now, John, I was telling him right at the end of our talk that I find his face is funny. This is not a criticism, this is not a judgment. I actually enjoyed this aspect of his face, that there was something like funny, you know, but funny in a sort of positive way, I would say. And what I just said to you is not a judgment against you, it's just a comment about what I perceive, you know. Yeah. And when I said that to him, he thanked me for that, you know. He didn't take it as me judging him. So this could be something you could start to learn, that when people comment to you, if they're kind of people you know well, people are living around you, they're probably not judging you. And so you don't have to respond really. Yeah. Okay, you're not so interested. Okay. Anyway, good. So I think I would like to read the text for tonight. And for those of you who have this book, it's from page 36 and 37. This is near the beginning of the book, and the chapter is called Bhagwan's Detailed Introduction to Self-Enquiry. So this is a small part of his answer about self-enquiry. I think this is probably the third or fourth evening I've talked from this book. So I'm going to read the whole, it's only a short text. I'll read the whole text and then we can go through it together. The ego I is only a mistaken belief. All that is needed to realize the self is to be still, and that means to keep the mind incessantly submerged in its source. The effort needed for realization is not one involving movement of mind or blossoming of thought, but rather one which involves permanently restraining the mind in its source. If abandoning that effort also you are able to achieve perfect repose in the shining of the heart, then everything has become still and there are no further doubts or cravings. Being remains as itself without being disturbed by any structures of the mind. The neti, which means not this, not that, neti, method will sift away the not self. But who or what is to account for the one who believes himself to be the seeker, attempting to discover reality or the true self. To discover the falsehood of the seeker's existence, the investigation, who am I, is advocated as being necessary. So all these words are directly from Ramana, and that's why they have a sort of slightly Indian English quality. Who am I does not refer to intellectually taking up the line of inquiry. I wonder who I might be. So it's not this kind of inquiry, who I might be. Completely arresting the movement of thought waves which veil the direct experience of reality, shining in the heart quietly as I, silently merging the mind in its source so as to make it remain one and identical with the beingness of the self, is the import of the investigation, who am I? Its purpose is not to enable oneself to discover another, for there is only one self. Nothing could be more absurd. Its purpose is to totally despoil and weed out the poisonous tree of ignorance, leaf, branch, trunk, shoot, and root, so that it perishes once and for all in the blissful light of absolute awareness, so that it shatters the embodied state of the seeker once and for all. Okay, so I think I'll read it again in paragraphs, and maybe I stop after each paragraph, and if you like to talk about it, then I'm very happy to stop and we can have a little dialogue about the paragraph. So the first paragraph is, the ego is only a wrong belief. All that is needed to realize the self is to be still. I mean, this is just amazing, isn't it? So what this means is that we have the thoughts going on, but we also have a space inside us, which we can call our being. And that space is also the self. And basically what Ramana is saying is that we need to take away all the kind of overlay which happens in the mind. And he's in I think it was the fourth paragraph, he was saying, we need to weed out the poisonous tree of ignorance. And these are all the thoughts. So the thoughts cover up any possibility to really come to the self. And so he's saying that all that is needed to realize the self is to be still. Where are we? To be still. And that means to keep the mind incessantly submerged in its source. The effort needed for realization is not one involving movement of mind or blossoming of thought, but rather one which involves permanently restraining the mind in its source. Okay, and this is like one of the fundamental teachings of Ramana Maharshi, actually, because he became very well known for this Bishara, this who am I. Anybody like to dialogue a bit about this paragraph? Okay, Kamala. Very good. I'm happy you've asked this.
Yeah, I have two questions. At the moment, there's a lot going on within me, like strong emotions. And the first thing is that sometimes it seems like that the brain or something cannot process words. It's like you're talking, but there's only some words which can be recognized. It was like ignorance, awareness, seeker, for example. The rest was not, I don't remember. So this is one thing, and then I don't know where I am. Who is where? What is... I'm not in the self, obviously, but also not... So where am I then?
No, wait a minute. You are always in the self, darling. You are the self. So that's a wrong information you've just said. So you need to understand the self is ever present, and you're always the self. You can't not be the self. Every human being absolutely is the self. But unfortunately, almost every human being on planet Earth has a lot of thinking, has a lot of structures from the past experiences as they grew up. Probably they have a lot of conditionings about this or that. And all of that kind of stuff makes it difficult, probably impossible for most people to have any contact with their being. But it doesn't mean they're not being, they just don't have any contact with it, because the constant involvement of thoughts makes us, I mean, it acts like a kind of veil. It acts like a screen that screens off our ability to come to the, but you don't have to do anything to get the self. As he says, all that is needed to realize the self is to be still. Well, it couldn't be easier. It means don't do anything and you're right there in the self. And that's why we regularly meditate, because by meditating regularly, we get a quieter and quieter mind. It just is given back to us from meditation. And therefore, it also, the effect of meditation is to bring us closer to our being. And this is also happening for you, but maybe you haven't seen it so clearly. So you don't have to do anything to get the self. You've got the self, everybody's got it, everybody is it. But it's veiled by the way the mind is maybe very active. And hence, in our community, we meditate 3 times a day together, so that gradually this maybe chaotic nature of our thoughts gets quieter and quieter. And then at some time, there'll be gaps, like silent gaps between the thoughts and so on. And gradually the thoughts will get less and less. So this is the value of meditation, I would say. And you're doing this meditation, and so you're also getting this value, but maybe you don't give it credit enough. I would say you're a little bit hard on yourself, you're a tough judge on Kamala. Is that right? Or not?
And I have another question.
Okay. Did I answer your first question?
Yeah, so to say. I think I'm often standing in front of a wall about this topic. You are in your thoughts, because I think I can't recognize them as thoughts. For me, it's experienced like emotions. They are present. And this is why I don't even understand really what it means, I think.
What means? What is a
To
thought?
say,
You don't know?
No, to say like you are in your head, or just as mind, because I just feel the emotions. This is for me very present. Like, I don't know, some numbness.
Okay, so let me tell you clearly that generally men, they're one part of humanity, they often think more than you could say generally women think. But women tend to have feelings much stronger and more often than maybe men do. It's like a different, they have different qualities. But these emotions that you're feeling are also the mind. It's not that thoughts and feelings are somehow different and come from a different place. They both come from your mind. Thoughts and feelings are from the mind. And you probably don't have a strong enough awareness, but if you sit quietly and allow some particular thing to come in, you will then quickly see that then there's an emotion. From the thought, there's an emotion, you see. For example, this idea that you might suddenly get a thought saying, I'm hungry, yeah. So in your case, when you get this thought, I'm hungry, at the same moment, you get an emotion like hunger, yeah. But this is all the mind. So don't think that emotions are somehow different from thoughts. It's, both come from the mind. Okay, does that help at all? I mean, many women think that their emotions are somehow different from thoughts. But that's not true. I mean, they manifest differently, but basically they come both from the mind.
Yeah, I can't connect it. Like,
But what do you mean when you say you can't connect it? Do you need to connect it? What do you need to connect?
no, because I should understand, but I don't understand.
Well, you should give up understanding. Just trust what I'm telling you. Surrender to that. You don't need to understand. And gradually, of course, you will come to understand. It doesn't have to be immediately that you understand everything. You have to have some trust for your teacher, for example. You accepted John David as your teacher. You're living in his community. So you have to trust to the community and trust to John David, and then try to follow the guidance you get from the community and John David. And that means you don't have to really do more than completely trust where you've chosen to be. So I would say that probably one issue is trust, yeah? And from your background of abuse, from people you were very close to, i.e. your parents, it might not be so easy to trust, right? And I think maybe as you stay longer and you do this work on yourself longer, you will gradually notice that you have more trust. You know, about, for example, I don't know, if you want a boiled egg in the morning, you can trust that somebody's boiled it nicely. You know? You can just trust life, the things that happen in your life. And, you know, you have some quality about that, because maybe you remember back in, was it February or March, you suddenly came to the community saying, oh, I want to come to the Friday evening meeting. Yeah? So you came to the Friday evening meeting, and we hadn't seen you for a while. And as far as we understood, you had made a new decision in your life that you're going to be a, what do they call it?
Midwife.
Midwife. You're going to be a midwife, right? So we, you know, for a few months we hadn't seen you, and we thought you were training to be a midwife, and suddenly you showed up to come to one meeting on a Friday evening. And then you, on Saturday, you didn't leave, on Sunday you didn't leave, on Monday you didn't leave, and somewhere along you said, oh, maybe I'd like to live here. It seems I should live here. That's called trust, you see. First of all, existence brought you. You didn't really know why you came. So that was existence bringing you. And this existence is actually your own self. Your self is not separate from existence. So your own self, you could say, brought you to the community in John David, you see? So you didn't really do much for that, yeah? It wasn't really complicated. You just followed a certain thing that came up inside you. Oh, I think I'll go to the Friday meeting, and you came to the meeting. And then when you woke up on Saturday, presumably you said to yourself, I think I'll stay a few days. And then you stayed a few days. So this is some kind of trust in existence. So you have some trust.
It was very, very clear and very strong, but I rarely experienced something like that. It was maybe twice in my life, and the rest always the opposite. But yeah, I try to be positive about the process. Yeah.
Well, what you're calling the process, presumably you mean my life, yeah? You mean your life. So actually you only have one life, and it goes from, 0 to, if you're lucky, about 80 something. So that's a very finite time. It's not very long. It goes very quickly. And actually, in your case, you're halfway along already. So, I mean, it's obviously a time for you to come into a deeper trust, because if you come into a deeper trust, existence can give you more. Existence is not trying to make your life difficult. Existence, as far as I've always seen, trying to give you what you want or what you need. Not always what you want, but what you need gives you. So when you came to that meeting, you had enough trust in existence that you could stay the night and wake up in the morning and stay a few more days. And now it's been several months. Have you noticed this? Several months have gone by, and the community accepted you. You accepted being in the community. So there was actually quite a lot of trust, I would say. No? Maybe you can talk to Kieran in the next few days, because when he first made contact with me, he didn't have much trust. He was a guy, he's actually Enneagram number 1, which are people who are often very judgmental. He was a very judgmental guy. Everybody liked him as a human being, but we found his self-judgment a bit difficult to deal with. And now I would say he's now lived in the community over 10 years. I think that has completely changed now. So you could talk to him about that, how that worked for him, Do you know what Enneagram number you are?
No.
You haven't been in a retreat where we did the
No.
Enneagram?
In not one single retreat you did it since I'm involved.
Okay. Well, we
No.
can probably figure you out without making a whole thing out of it.
Yeah, Indira gave me the 8, I think.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure, but
Shall we ask Indira? Are you there, Indira?
Yes, I'm here.
Is she an 8 or a 1?
No, 8. I never would have said 8. No, but she could be a 1 or a 4. Yeah, a 4 is
4.
also very
Yeah.
likely.
Right,
Sorry,
right.
yeah, 4.
Right, and I think 1 and 4, don't they have is
Yeah.
there a connection
Yes, they
there?
have a connection. They have a connection. Yeah.
There you are, you see. That Enneagram is very useful. You should try to find, I think actually you can find in our bookcase downstairs, an Enneagram book in German.
Also it's in
And then
kannst du leise machen?
you can read the characteristics of 1 and the characteristics of 4. So, for example, in the case of 4, the characteristics are a kind of creativity. Often it's artistic people. But also in the case of 4s, they often create some strong dramas, which is what you do also. So the other element of a 4 is very often some breakdown in the relationship with the father. And you also have this break with the father, So you have the father part and so on. So there's a good chance that basically you're an Enneagram 4, but Enneagram 4s move to Enneagram 1s. I can't remember whether it's in stress or whether it's in relaxation. Maybe somebody could tell me. I think it's probably in stress. You go from 4 to 1. No? In relaxation, is it? Okay, so when you relax, you go to 1, and then you become very self-judgmental, right? This is the characteristic of 1, judgment. And you're making it, as the 1s do, judgment against yourself. Talk to Kieran about that, because he was like the world's most high court judge you can imagine. you see. But probably fundamentally you're more out of the four. And Enneagram 4, of course, is also making dramas because artistic people are usually quite dramatic. So read about an Enneagram 4 and you may be surprised to find that a lot of the characteristics are characteristics you know about yourself. And this is actually very interesting. Okay? Are you still there? If you say yes, I'll get to see you again.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you're having a pretty amazing day because now we know you're probably Enneagram 4 going to 1 and 4. Okay? Have a look. All right? Okay, good, good.
John has also raised his hand.
John? Which John? Can you move
John
your hand
Lynch.
again? Ah, John Lynch. Okay, fine, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, quite something interesting there when you're reading Ramina's words. I was listening to them, not thinking about them, but the strangest thing. I was looking at my picture and this subtle, very subtle thing happened. I didn't recognize myself. And it was like a very quiet, clear, no drama, just a looking. Then a subtle fascination. Then I'm looking at other people. And the recognizing of them was similar to the recognizing of my profile picture. There was no differentiation. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like I didn't. And I'm looking now at my profile thing.
Can you just repeat it because we lost?
Yeah, I was reading the words. I was looking
Can you
at
repeat what you just said? Because unfortunately,
I was looking at when you're reading Ramina's words, I heard them, but I was looking at my profile picture. But I didn't recognize myself. And the more I looked, there was just like, and not knowing who I was. It's like the inquiry was reflected back to me through my profile picture. And then I'm looking at other people, and I know as much about them as I do about me, which is nothing really.
Right. Yeah.
It's quite something. That's never happened. That's so odd. I know that's like, you know, the way you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning, you're kind of like something comes up about yourself. You judge yourself for something, or I'm looking now and it's like, who is the guy? It's great.
Well, I think you said earlier you don't know so much, but you probably know that you're not just a body.
No, not at all.
Because the body.
I had an experience where I wasn't the presence or the absence.
Right.
Not knowing, well, seeing that I wasn't even the absence was just astounding.
Right.
And now it's a story, but then it was totally different when it happened. Other things have happened, lots of things, but
yeah,
I know there's a freeing up there's lots going on, you know, I couldn't understand really, but there's just a process happening, John. Yeah, I don't know.
So earlier you were saying you're not so experienced, but it sounds to me like you are very experienced actually.
Well, I would say not knowledgeable.
I see, yeah. But that's okay because you know it in another way.
Yeah, I know myself well.
Yeah, right.
I would meditate.
If you sit quietly, do you immediately come into a space of emptiness?
Or when I go home, I can't wait to get home. I live alone, and I get home. I do my little ritual. I light my candle and my incense, and I do my thing and my bowl, and you know. And I'm not really a devotee as such, but I have my little things on an altar thing, you know. And I sit down, and it's wonderful. Like, sit. It's beautiful, you know.
Right. So just a moment. So Kamala, you can see and hear what he's saying, that it can be very beautiful just to sit and accept the stillness that's there. You don't have to do something, you see. You don't have to do. Yeah.
And that's another thing. It's like I'm being done. Even when I'm meditating, I have these explosions would go off in my mind a lot for years. They were very profound, and then they'd explode less, explode less. Then there was explosion of light. It'd explode less and less and less. And even when I'm asleep, they fire off by themselves in headspace. Like,
What do you mean when you say they? You're talking about a thought that it kind of
I know
explodes?
the energetic boom. It's like thoughts exploding, like, like, like the mind exploding or something, or
Right, right.
energy kind of. And I'd have moments where I'd be dreaming, and if it would freeze frame, the dream would go on like someone might be going like that, and the dream would stop, freeze frame, and there's just nobody, there's nothing whatsoever seeing anything. It's just, I know it sounds bonkers, but
A lot of spiritual things are a bit bonkers, but the effect of these bonkers things is really amazing when it happens. Yeah, when you suddenly have a moment where you feel yourself one with everything, and there is no separation, and there's no, how can I say, there's no longer any need to inquire about who you are, because right then you're knowing who you are. You absolutely know who you are.
yeah, and the inquiry has really reduced, like, like even meditation. I'm not sure I even meditate anymore, you know.
Right, right.
You know, in a way, you know, like the mental gymnastics doesn't go on really.
Yeah, yeah. So you must have been meditating for many years, is
Oh
that right?
God, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Like I really
Good.
went into it. I just said to myself once in my life there was a lot of suffering, and that's nearly 15 years ago. I was on a spiritual path. I suppose all my life, really, we all are. But there was so much suffering. I said, I don't care if I have to lose my mind. I really don't care if I have to lose my mind. I'm going to find out who I am.
Right, right. And have you been working with Carl Renz for some time?
But I ended up with Carl. Yeah, I saw Carl 15 years ago, and through a lot of suffering, I just ended up going to Carl.
Yeah.
Energetic stuff went off for me, and some things I can't explain.
I mean, I haven't seen Carl for many years, but I always used to like him. He used to say very outrageous things,
Yeah,
but then he would tell them in such a funny, humorous way that people could kind of take what he was saying. Did you
yeah.
have that kind of experience with him?
Well, he could say anything to me, which he did, but I just could not take it personally.
Right. Right.
And it was heaven and hell with him, to be honest. It was absolute the most tremendous experience in my life going through everything. But
Right.
I had all these things going off. Some things were really strange. You know, I just, but but there's presence. I can't say there's anybody present, but there's presence,
Right. Right.
whatever that is. It's like yes and no together, you know. But you said something there, though, John. I have to say that you're one with everything. I don't sense that.
You don't what, sorry?
Don't sense that. You know, I'm one with everything. You know.
But you've had some moments like that. Maybe it's not continuous, but you've had some moments where it became very quiet and then you could feel a connection, very big connection to
Oh,
everything actually.
I haven't felt that,
Oh, you haven't felt that? Okay.
which I find so strange. You know.
Yeah.
I find that. Yeah. Well, there's more to be done. You know. Whatever.
Right, right, right.
I know
Okay.
and I'm a bit wacky. Just to let people know, I can get a bit wacky. So.
Don't worry. I mean, if you ever want to come and visit us, you'll find that everybody here is wacky. So, and John David definitely wacky. So
Very good.
you're in good company.
That'd be great. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to finish soon. So I would just like to come back to something that is in the last paragraph. So he's saying the purpose is not to enable oneself to discover another self, for there is only one self. Nothing could be more absurd. So this self is our basic nature as a human being. This is our energetic, fundamental energetic nature to be what in India they call the self. And so you can't be looking for it because there's not another one. You've already got one, and there isn't a second one. And he's also saying right at the end that we have to really understand about the seeker who's seeking for the self, because this seeker who's seeking for the self is what you could call the I, who am I? And this I is also part of what blocks us or veils us from knowing the self. So this is part of the work of who am I, of self-inquiry, is to become very clear about this I, which is the seeker. Okay, I'll say good night to you, John. It's very nice to meet you. Perhaps we'll see you again. And is there anybody now who's still on the? Anybody else want to say something or dialogue something about the text? Okay, good. Christine, you're getting very active, Christine. Very good.
Christine Triane ist sehr aktiv.
Ja, mich beschäftigt eine ganze Weile schon die Frage, dieses Wer bin ich? Wenn ich frage, zum Beispiel, ja, wer fragt? Ich. Wer ist dieses Ich? Dann kann ich schon sehen, dass ich nicht der bin, also dass ich nicht wirklich der bin, der fragt. Aber
So maybe I translate.
Okay,
So I'm
sorry.
since some time I'm busy with this who am I. So when I ask who am I can see that I am not this one who is asking.
Right.
Und die Frage ist, geht es darum, wenn ich frage, wer bin ich, dann heißt es für mich, wer bin ich wirklich? Und wenn ich frage, wer fragt, ja, ich, dann ist es eher so, als ob ich aufdecke, dass ich das nicht bin. Also, dass es darum geht, wer ich nicht bin. Was ist es nun? Oder ist es beides? Mich beschäftigt das.
So when I'm asking who am I, is it about to ask who am I really? Or is it about to discover that it is not me? So I mean, in which direction I'm busy with this to find this out.
Well, I think the point of this question of his, which he calls self-inquiry, is to realize that what you've been conditioned to believe is you, the same person who is seeking the self, is not true, simply not true. And this veils
Also der Punkt der
us. Sorry.
Der Punkt der Selbsterforschung ist zu erkennen, dass dieses konditionierte Ich, also diese Person, die du glaubst zu sein, dass das einfach nicht wahr ist, dass die einfach nicht existiert.
I mean, Ramana's description of how to do what he calls self-inquiry or vichara is you look inside and you become aware of a thought, or you become aware of many thoughts, yeah? And then you ask yourself, to whom do these thoughts arise? And the answer is me, yeah, because that's our conditioning, this me. Maybe Kamala, you can also listen to my talk now. So that's the first question. And then the second question is, who is this me? And to this second question, the answer is the self, right? It's not a seeker, it's the self is who you really are. So this second question doesn't have a verbal answer. You fall into, if you like, the energy of existence. And this can't be spoken. It can be known, but not spoken.
Also Rama hat das so beschrieben, die Selbsterforschung, dass du erstmal fragst, wer bin ich? Nein, was war das Erste? Was ist da in mir? Ne? Da guckst du zum Beispiel, ist in dir, findest du einen Gedanken oder viele Gedanken. Und dann fragst du, zu wem kommen die Gedanken? Zu mir. Das ist die normale Antwort, die dann kommt. Die Gedanken kommen zu mir. Und dann stellst du als zweite Frage, wer ist dieses Ich, zu wem die Gedanken kommen? Und auf die zweite Frage gibt es keine verbale Antwort. Die Antwort auf die zweite Frage ist das Selbst, aber die kommt nicht als verbale Antwort. Du lässt die Frage einfach in dich reinsinken.
It sounds quite exciting in German.
Das hört sich in Deutsch ja aufregend an.
Okay, is that okay, Christine?
Ja, das ist jetzt klar. Danke.
Okay, good.
Yes, now it's clear.
Okay, so before we finish, I would just like to, wait a minute, I want to get back to the group. Okay. So I just mentioned that beginning on June the 6th for 1 week, I'm offering a retreat in Spain at our community house in Spain, which is between Alicante and Valencia. It's quite cheap to fly there because it's a big tourist area, so there are many flights. And so we're having a retreat there with people. We have a very beautiful house and garden. The garden particularly is rather lovely, especially lovely. And we've been renovating this property for the last years, and now it's pretty much perfect. So it's a very beautiful place to spend some time. And usually these retreats are quite energetic. Roughly half of the people would be from the community. So these people know me quite well. And then the other half is mostly guests from outside. So if you have interest, then again, contact Indira in the office. And of course, we're happy to see you. I haven't talked to you today, Basker. Are you still there? Maybe I just have a quick word with Basker.
Yeah, I'm here.
Huh?
I'm here.
Are we going to see you in Spain?
Yeah, I think so. It won't be in June though, unfortunately. I'll come down in September. Indira called me the other day and we had a chat about it, and I'm looking forward to coming down to see you then. Definitely.
Well, I would like to share something with you then, Basker, because you had a very good experience in India.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
But actually, you have a pretty strong mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know this, and you were going to come. You were going to come to Easter. You were going to come now to Spain, and now you're putting it off for another 3 months, and you're going to come in September.
I know. Unfortunately,
I have a strong intuition telling me that you won't make it in September. I'm sorry to say that. I don't know why you keep postponing, but I think it's not a wise thing for you because you're not sufficiently grounded inside yourself that you won't be affected.
No, I think it's just financial at the moment, John. I have responsibilities to the family regarding the sale of my parents' property, and there's been a lot of issues and problems. I'm not going to go into that sort of thing because it's just one of those things, and I'm not letting it. I'm trying not to let it bother me too much.
But what you're doing, Basker, I need to tell you again, being honest, what this is doing is a certain priority. You're choosing whatever the business is instead of choosing your own inner work. And this is what many people do. and you probably won't make it in September, but I mean, I hope you will, it's okay to come in September, but it's, you've already postponed 3 times, and so
I know.
probably won't see you again, I'm sorry to
No,
say.
you will, definitely. I need to give it the priority that it deserves, but
But it
unfortunately,
deserves a priority now, because I can feel, having met you recently, that you don't have so much contact as you had before, which is okay. But the danger is, by keeping postponing and making money the most important thing, we already offered you that we can arrange the money.
yeah,
So maybe you talk to Indira about that.
yeah, I will. Yeah, thank you.
I know it's rather strong what I've just been saying to you, but I care about what happened in India. You had a very good experience there, and be careful.
Yeah, I know. I think it's nice of you to recognise that, because like us all students sometimes need a kick up the backside.
Well, I haven't kicked you up the backside because you're too far away, but when I see you, I might do that.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
mean, I've had a lot of experience with people,
Yeah, I know you have, mate. I know.
and very often people come to our house and they're very touched, extremely touched. And then they're going to come back, but they don't come back because they probably do what you're doing, which is, I'll do it next week, I'll do it next month, I'll do it next year. And that's the game of the mind.
Yeah.
Be
I know.
careful how your mind is going to take you away.
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So I say good night. Nice meeting. Thank you.